Hi, I'm Flynn and I'm gonna be cooking. This is my first YouTube video, so I'm just gonna cook. So right now I start with red cabbage and I'm just gonna cut it up right now into small pieces because I'm gonna make an appetizer with like bread and salmon and red cabbage, and it's really yummy. So I'm just gonna cut some red cabbage. So I just finished cutting the cabbage and I'm just gonna put it into this plate and so we have all this cabbage right here, red cabbage, and I got some salt earlier and got 1/4 tablespoon of salt. So I'm just gonna put that in here and mix it around so I can spread all the salt throughout all this red cabbage. And now I have that. I'm gonna put this in the fridge. Hey, so I'm back and I'm gonna cut some onion. So first, I'm gonna cut this in half. And cut down this way. And here, cut down. So I finished cutting these onions and I'm just gonna take apart all these pieces. I just need to find some pieces and take them apart. And then I'm gonna put them into this bowl. So, yeah, I'm just gonna put these in now. And now, so I'm gonna get these apple pieces. And I sliced most of it off camera, so I'm just gonna slice some more. And I'm gonna use these as like apple sticks on top of my appetizer that I'm making. So I did some cutting off camera. And I'm just gonna take these and I'll put them back into the bowl where they came from. Hey, so I just got this cabbage out of the fridge and I'm gonna squeeze all the juice out. So I just grabbed some clumps and I squeeze really hard so I can get the juice out. See? The juice right here falling from my hand. And it tastes better when there's no juice in there. And then I would grab another clump and get rid of all the juice. See, there's a lot of juice in here. And I would put it in here. So I got this cheese. It's called Brie, and I'm just gonna cut up some Brie. For some reason, Brie tastes really good, but it doesn't smell that good. But some people just get used to the taste. So I'm gonna grab a knife and just cut some Brie. Go. So I just turned it around a bit. So I'm just gonna cut some Brie for my appetizer. So I'm just gonna cut probably like 2 more slices because the it's kind of small. So yeah. So now that I have these, first of all, I'm gonna need to wrap this up. Okay, so I'm gonna cut these into smaller pieces. This will just take a few seconds. Then I have all the cheese. Cooking time! So I'm gonna grab some butter and heat it up in this pan over here. So I'm just gonna heat it up in the pan and help it just move around and melt. So see, it's starting to melt. While that's melting right now, I'm just gonna open this. I'm gonna grab some scissors. So the butter's all melted. So I'm just gonna get some bread. just gonna leave that right there right now. And I'm just gonna let these soak up the butter. And then just have them more crunchy and crispy. So I'm gonna use some sesame oil, and before I do that, I'm gonna turn the fire off because the bread is done cooking. So I'm gonna use a few drops of this and this lime from fresh out of the garden. So I cut this lime. Before I put this in, I'm gonna put some into the cabbage, and all the stuff is only going into the cabbage because it will probably taste weird with like lime and apple and lime and onion. You know? So just a few drops of lime. So then with the lime, and then sesame oil, like a I'm gonna mix it throughout all the cabbage. And now I'm gonna put this onto here. Oh, this is actually heavier than I thought. So since I have all this ready, I'm just gonna use all these ingredients and put it on top of this, including this salmon. So first I'm gonna lay all this bread out because they're stacked on top of each other. And now we have all the bread. Okay, so now I'm gonna get this salmon. How do you open? Maybe I'm gonna get some scissors. Yeah, that's a good idea. I'm gonna use these scissors to cut this open. So cut that open. And so yeah, I'm just gonna open this. And then I'm gonna use this probably better. And just take some apart. So I'm just gonna tear some layers out. I'm just gonna take the bread before I cut up all the salmon and put it on this. I'm just gonna place them down in areas that I think there's not enough brie, and I'm gonna probably eat that later. So I'm gonna place these salmon bites on to the pieces of brie. And I'm gonna take out another row and I'm just gonna like cut them up and put them on the bread. So I just did some off camera because yeah, I don't want you guys to just watch me place salmon onto some bread. It's kind of boring to watch. So now that these are on, I can probably put this away into the fridge. So now I'm gonna place these on. So first, I start with the onion. I'm just gonna grab some in my hand, and I like to like sprinkle them, like kind of sprinkle it over all these. So I'm just finishing this up, and if you don't like any of these toppings, but I would recommend have any of these, you don't have to put it on. But it kind of tastes better with these toppings, but it's your choice. And I learned this the hard way, that red cabbage is really powerful. So you don't want to put too much on one piece. So I'm just gonna grab some red cabbage. And that's a good amount. So last but not least, I'm gonna put some apple sticks on. And I really like them like sticks because they're like really crunchy and juicy. And it's just bigger, like you have more. Same as the cabbage, like it's crunchy and juicy. And then we have all this. So, if you have been questioning why we cut these small slices of lime, well, you're gonna know it now. So if you want this to be like have more of a lime flavor, I'd suggest just adding some lime slices so you can like squeeze it in. And I'm gonna add some of these lime slices to squeeze in. And guess what time it is now? Well, it's time to smell your amazing food that you made. Uh-oh, oopsies. Well, it's time to smell your amazing food. It smells really good. Well, it's time to smell your amazing food. It smells great. Yippee! Guess what time it is? It's time to eat your amazing food. So I'm gonna try a bit of this with some lime on it. It's really good. Yippee! So, this food is really crunchy and yummy. It's just, I can't explain it. So the bread brings all this crunch into it, and then it's really creamy with the brie in it. And then these toppings make it really have a lot of taste in it. Very yummy food.
Okay.